Ambassador, did you see progress in economic interaction and trade between Armenia and the European Union during the year of 2016?
We don't have the full data for 2016. We have only partial for the first half, which shows a visible increase of Armenian exports to the European market. The European Union remains the biggest export market for Armenia. The European Union is the number one trade partner, number one foreign investor, and number one foreign donor to Armenia. Armenia benefits from the GSP Plus scheme. This is a privileged access to the European market. Thousands of Armenian items can enter freely the EU market. This GSP Plus scheme is based on the conditionalities relating to the participation of Armenia in 27 international agreements, treaties, and standard-setting documents. Therefore, this privileged access is not unconditional, it's not eternal. It has to do with the implementation of Armenia of these important conventions, international agreements relating to human rights and labor standards.
Can we expect the signing of a new framework agreement between Yerevan and Brussels this year? And what will the new agreement change in bilateral relations from the economic point of view?
The negotiations on the new framework agreement between Armenia and the European Union have entered the final phase. Very intensive negotiations are being conducted. Even this week, as we speak, new contacts, new platforms of dialogue will be pursued. And I believe that there is a strong determination on both parties, the European Union and Armenia, to finalize the negotiations as soon as possible. We cannot speak about any concrete dates yet. What we know is that the progress since the start of the negotiations have been very important, that only a few remaining open issues have to be tackled. How long will it take? That's another story, but I think that with the determination that I referred to, with the political will, this agreement can be concluded in quite a short time. Now, the importance of the agreement is obvious. The agreement will establish a solid legal basis for the relations between Armenia and the European Union. This will be definitely the most advanced bilateral agreement between the European Union and any of the members of the Euro-Asian Economic Union. The political part will be preserving the substance of the association agreement that was aborted in 2013. And as you know, the political part will contain a very strong commitment on both parties to deepen the political dialogue, the cooperation in foreign policy, security and defense matters. Most importantly, the common values as the basis of our relationship will be strengthened. The economic and trade part will not be so ambitious as the deep and comprehensive free trade agreement for obvious reasons. The trade part will be very modest, but still we will have as the basis the WTO regime. Some other issues which relate to the trade and investment part also at this moment cannot be as ambitious as either party, be it Armenia or the European Union, might wish. But nevertheless, I think that there will be elements in the framework agreement which will introduce a new quality in the trade and economic part. I think that for foreign investors, this agreement will serve as an encouragement to come and to do business in Armenia. Because even from the political point of view, this development, this framework agreement, will constitute a certain political assurance that Armenia is on good terms with the European Union, so it makes sense to consider the business opportunities in Armenia.
On the eve of New Year, Azerbaijani armed troops launched a diversionary infiltration attempt at Armenia's state border, southeast of Chinar village. Do you agree that such kind of aggressive steps should be strictly condemned and prevented? And don't you think that imposing sanctions is necessary to prevent such kind of destructive actions?
The position of the European Union is very clear. We condemn violence. We urge the parties to show restraint and to avoid any escalation of the military tension and military hostilities. We deplore the loss of lives, in particular these young people who are killed in battle, who are killed in the exchange of fire. They are the future of Armenia or the future of Azerbaijan. So our position is very clear and very consistent. There is no military solution to the conflict. Hostilities should be prevented. The confidence building mechanism and the investigation mechanism as envisaged some months ago in May in Vienna by the two countries should be put in place, and negotiations on the settlement, the comprehensive settlement of the conflict should be launched and brought to a successful conclusion. The European Union is not engaged in direct mediation. That's the responsibility of the Minsk Group co-chair. But we support the activities of the Minsk Group. We have a special representative coming very often to the region and meeting the leaders of the parties. We also have direct contacts with the leaders of Armenia, Azerbaijan, like last year during the May meeting in Vienna. The High Representative met separately both presidents. So the European Union is very much interested in the settlement of the conflict, and hopefully we can have visible progress soon. From my activities here in Armenia, from my contacts with Armenians, including ordinary Armenians, I believe the Armenian society is ready to engage into peace, is ready to support peace. Armenia is not interested in inflagrating the situation. Armenia is not interested in the bad developments, meaning another war, another conflict, another case of loss of life. This I can assure from my daily contacts with Armenians, including ordinary Armenians.
Ambassador, the European Union welcomed consensus between authorities and the opposition in Armenia concerning the electoral code. There is also essential financial assistance from the European Union. Now, do you see real guarantees or perspectives for free, just and democratic parliamentary elections in Armenia?
The implementation of the September electoral deal is very important. And I can note with satisfaction that all stakeholders are doing their best in order to ensure the proper implementation of the technical arrangements relating to the elections. I can confirm that from our contacts with the government, the opposition parties, but also other public institutions like Central Electoral Commission or the Special Parliamentary Commission supervising the implementation of the deal, everything is being done in order to make this deal a success. We are very appreciative to the role of the UNDP, who is responsible for the implementation of one part of this electoral deal, the installation of the voter identification machinery. And I think that together with other donors, Germany, United Kingdom and the United States, we are very grateful to the UNDP and the government for making quite, I would say, good progress. The other part of the other technical part of the deal, video cameras, cannot be implemented to this level of ambition as envisaged initially, but judged by the contacts last week by the government and the opposition parties, we are optimistic that there is a political will to carry out this arrangement concerning video cameras to the best possible level. I understand that contacts are being now undertaken with the winning company. The task is very difficult because the time is short. I cannot recall any other country where such an ambitious technological approach was implemented within such a short period of time. But I am optimistic because what I can say is definitely a very strong determination and the right political will on the part of all stakeholders to implement the deal. Of course, the deal doesn't cover all aspects of the electoral process. There are areas where the government and the opposition couldn't come to a common position, like, for instance, the question of the rating lists. They couldn't reach the agreement. They couldn't reach the agreement on some other issues. From our perspective, the European Union is interested that all the other aspects are implemented according to the international standards, taking into account the previous recommendations of the OSCE and the Council of Europe, so that Armenia, as declared by the leadership of the country, has the best elections ever, and the best elections in the region, or even the whole post-Soviet space, if you wish. I think it's possible. I think it would open a new chapter for Armenia. I think it would be something that would really make Armenia develop better and faster. For the European Union, our level of engagement is unprecedented. As you know, the European Union is allocating up to 7 million euros together with Germany and UK. This constitutes more than 90% of the external foreign funding. And this is something we haven't done in any other country. Why we are doing it this time? Because we believe that Armenia needs our support, and because we believe that this support can be used for the good purpose. This support will not be wasted. This support will bring a clear result. So far, we have already disbursed up to 4 million euros to procure the equipment. 2 more million euros will be processed and transferred in the coming days. There is still a portion of the money, more than 1 million, which will be available to the government of Armenia only after the elections. And we do not make it a secret. The disbursement of the final tranche will depend on how the other elements of the electoral deal will be implemented. So we are paying close attention to what is happening. From our perspective, the most important issues that should be now looked into are the questions of fair campaign, which should involve prevention of the misuse of administrative resources, which should include prevention of corruption, electoral corruption, and which should include the fair access to media and channels of propagating the manifestos and programs of all participants. I have had several meetings with the officials of Armenia, including the Prosecutor General, and I can say that the authorities of Armenia are aware of the task, and they want to do their best within the scope of the mandates in order to ensure the best conditions for the electoral campaign. Not only by acting upon the violations, but by undertaking preventive action, which I think is very important. Last week I had a very good discussion with the Prosecutor General, and what he put the emphasis on is exactly the need to act in a preventive manner. So this is a very important time for Armenia. The challenges are big, but I am optimistic. I believe that Armenia will find its way out, because even from the biggest challenges, biggest problems, there is always a way out.